Hi, my name is Marissa, or That Cosmic Synchronicity, and today I want to talk about regulating your nervous system and my journey with giving up caffeine. So I've always been like an athlete, I've always been a dancer, I've always been a doer. I always enjoy actively like being productive. It's like the best feeling in the world. And that's an overactive masculine energy. Okay. And lately I've been getting into kind of tapping more into that soft feminine side of existence and what that's like. Now, the journey started for me with caffeine about 7 or 8 months ago. I decided to just go a whole week without caffeine. I really don't remember why. And I've done this many times. I've tried to give up caffeine many times because I was a barista. I spent years drinking multiple cups of coffee a day and an energy drink sometimes. Like, it was wild. But I ended up just going 4 days without coffee. I felt good. I felt really good. There's always kind of like an adrenal crash when you first do that if you have a caffeine problem, where the first day you kind of just sleep forever. Like, if you have the free time, you will nap. You will fall asleep early when you're trying to go to bed, whatever it is. So the first day I slept a bunch, and then after that I was just feeling great, And then because I'm a dance teacher and I am soft-spoken, I enjoy having caffeine before I teach. And so I did for a day after about 4 days off. And I got home from work that night and I just had a complete panic attack. It was crazy. It was like my heart would not stop beating out of my chest. And I've had anxiety my whole life, probably because I have a lot of caffeine in my system. But like, as long as I can remember, I've had anxiety. So those few days I was kind of feeling calm, And after I had that panic attack, I realized I was so used to feeling like that. I was so used to being in that fight or flight mode for years, for my entire life. That was my normal. And getting myself out of that consciously, I don't know, there was something that clicked. That's not the state we're supposed to be in. We're not supposed to be in fight or flight. Like, yes, we are animals, but isn't that the point of consciousness? Isn't that the point of evolution and growing as a person, is stepping away from that animalistic mentality. Part of it was that day that I had caffeine again for the first time in like 4 or 5 days. My heart was beating super hard the whole day. Like, it was weird. I was like conscious of how my heart was beating, and I was like, I think that's one of those things you're not supposed to think about. You're not supposed to be able to feel. And so I ended up having a panic attack because like my heart just would not stop beating super fast and super hard. And it got in my head and I started thinking about all these things that were already stressing me out. I didn't have any reason to really be stressing about them, but I couldn't help it because my body physically was in fight or flight, So since then, I have severely decreased how much caffeine I take. I do enjoy a decaf coffee every now and again, and I enjoy a black tea, regular caffeine black tea. I feel like that is kind of, I don't know, it's like a purer level of caffeine, and I feel like maybe it's just because it's more herbal, it's more natural than the bean water. But so ever since then, I've gotten deeper into my spirituality, for one, but into how to kind of regulate my nervous system a little bit more. And what I've learned is that everything you consume affects your nervous system, right? It's like the core of your being. And they say that your gut microbiome influences your emotions as well. And that's like a perfect example. I mean, if you've ever had a stomach ache and like you're just so grumpy, like, why? It's just because your body's off and like your brain and your gut work together, So I think when you start the spiritual journey, or when you've been on it for a while, you're gonna have moments where you realize you can't separate the physical with the spiritual. And that being said, you have to pay attention to the things you consume on a physical level and on a like emotional and spiritual level, right? On every level. That means the media you consume, social media or movies, music, anything. Lately, I've been really focusing on how things make me feel. Like, yes, maybe I want to get entertained, but I've noticed I need to take like a couple days to work up to watching like a scary movie or something, you know? And I used to be able to watch scary movies like every day if I wanted, you know, I loved it. And now it's like that fear energy is not what I'm into anymore. I feel like it's really interesting. And so I'm just urging you to think today of what are you consuming and how does it affect you? Maybe just be a little bit more mindful. And because what I've noticed is I think everybody kind of lives in this fight or flight mode all the time. And they don't even realize it because they're so used to living like that. And I was, you know. And so when you start being aware of it, when you start realizing the effect that everything has on you, you're going to be more discerning about what you allow into your life, what you allow into your body, and what you allow into your mind. One more thing, a great example of how to regulate your nervous system is obviously through meditation, but if you're not feeling motivated to do that, or you don't know where to start, or you just want something like new, you need a different sort of meditation practice, just going out in nature and listening. There's so many animals, so much life out here. Yeah, so even just for like 5 or 10 minutes a day, if you can get somewhere with a lot of trees, a forest, something like that, highly recommend. That's what I've been thinking about today. Thanks, guys.